Hello, kindergarten friends. Earlier this week, Miss Cardis taught you how to retell a story. When we retell a story, we can tell the important parts or we can retell what happens in the story. Yesterday, I read The Three Bears to you. And today, instead of reading it again, I'm going to do a retell and tell you the most important parts, but maybe not read every single word of the story. So, here we go. Once upon a time, there were three bears who lived together in a house in the woods. There was a little bear, a medium bear, and a great big bear. They had bowls for their porridge. They had a small bowl, a medium bowl, and a great big bowl. They had chairs that were small and tiny, a medium one, and a great big one. They each had their own bed. There was a little tiny one for the baby bear, a medium one for the middle bear or the mama bear, and a great big bear for the papa bear. One day they made some porridge, but it was too hot for them to eat, so they decided to go for a walk in the woods until it was cooled down and ready to eat. Then there was a girl named Goldilocks that came to their house. She looked in the window and peeked around, kind of snooped around the house. And she decided that no one was there. She couldn't see anybody. And so she opened the door and went inside. Inside, she saw 3 bowls of porridge. She decided that it smelled really, really good. And she didn't know whose it was, so she went right up to it to take a closer look. She tasted the first porridge, but it was too hot. She tasted the next porridge, but it was too cold. And she tasted the last porridge, it was just right. And so she ate it all up. There were 3 chairs. One was a great big chair from the great big bear. It was too hard. The middle-sized bear's chair was too soft. She sat down in the little wee bear's chair, the small bear's chair, and it was just right. She rocked so much that the chair broke, and she fell to the ground. Then she saw some beds in the next room. First, she tried to lay in the big bear's bed, and it was too high at the head for her. Then she lay down on the middle-sized bear, but it was too high at the foot for her. And then she sat down in the wee bear's bed, and it was just right, and she fell asleep. Then the bears came home from their walk. They were ready to eat. The great big bear said, "Somebody's been tasting my porridge." And the middle-sized bear said, "Somebody's been tasting my porridge." And the little wee bear looked at his bowl and said, "Somebody has been tasting my porridge and has eaten it all." And the 3 bears went into the parlor or the kitchen. Goldilocks had been sitting in one of the chairs and it didn't look the way it did before. The great big bear said, "Somebody's been sitting in my chair." The middle-sized bear said, "Somebody's been sitting in my chair too." The little wee bear said, "Somebody has been sitting in my chair and has sat right through it." Then they went to the bedroom. The great big bear said, "Somebody's been lying in my bed." The middle-sized bear said, "Somebody has been lying in my bed." And the little wee bear said, "Somebody's been lying in my bed and here she is." Goldilocks woke up and the bears were staring right at her. She was so scared that she ran out of bed and right through the window. She jumped right out of it. Then she ran as fast as she could, never looking back. And then at the end, no one knew what happened to Goldilocks, and the 3 bears never saw her again. So, kindergarten friends, I just retold the story, The 3 Bears. It didn't take as long as the first time I read it, and usually it won't take as long on the retell. Sometimes if you have the book, you can do what I did and turn the pages and retell the story that way. And if you don't have the book, you can just try to tell it from your brain too and tell the important parts that you remember. So today in your activity, after you do some reading on Raz Kids or on Epic, please tell me some parts of the story by retelling either what the story was about or retelling maybe 2 or 3 things that happened in your story. All right? Have a great day and have a great weekend. Bye.